Hey everybody, I'm Brendan72Mo. Welcome to the second part of the fifth update to my GTA Online Garage Tour video series. If you want to see your own garages featured on my channel, send a tweet at Brendan72Mo with the hashtag Garage Tour. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at another dozen vehicles that are new to my collection and are worth roughly $2.5 million. If you enjoy this video, please drop a like and get subscribed. Now, let's get to the cars. Up first is the Bravado Rat Truck. This truck is the epitome of form over function. I think we can all agree, this is a beautiful old ride. It features enough customization options to let you stand apart from other players, it makes a menacing noise, and it just looks sexy as fuck. But slide in behind the wheel and you'll find it's practically useless. God forbid you should stomp on the gas and expect anything resembling a straight line. No, the Rat Truck will light up its rear tires and just spin around. If you do manage to get any straight line speed, you better pray that you don't need to stop because the brakes are terrible. And should you get really brave and attempt a corner, be prepared for oversteer like you've never seen before. But you know what? I don't care about any of that. This truck is easy to drive slowly. And going slowly lets everyone else have a chance to admire this thing of beauty. Up next is the Uberbach Oracle XS. I think the XS on the Oracle stands for extra slow because the Oracle XS is definitely slower around the track and in a straight line than the newer version, the Oracle. The Oracle XS is the second slowest coupe around the track and it's towards the bottom of the class in terms of straight line speed. It's weird. When I think of a big German saloon car, I think of the Autobahn and unlimited speed. Oh well, I guess the Autobahn just doesn't exist in the GTA universe. So the Oracle XS isn't really anything special in terms of performance or in its lack of customization options. But honestly, I just own the Oracle XS to complete my Uberbach collection. The third car is the Shyster Fusillade. If you've learned anything about me by now, then you've probably noticed that I take a lot of pride in designing my cars and having a unique look. I also like owning cars that a lot of other players just tend to overlook. I do see other Fusillades now and then, but it's fairly rare. And when I do see one, there's almost no chance that it's going to look like mine because this car has quite a few customization options available. Sure, it's not particularly fast, but that's okay. I know the looks of the Fusillade can be quite polarizing, with people seeming to either love it or hate it. But for me, I think it's a great looking car, and it makes a solid addition to my ever-growing collection. The Ocelot F620 is number 4 in the second part of my 5th Garage Tour update series. This car has strong design cues from the real-world Maserati Gran Turismo and the Jaguar XK. And just like the real-world Gran Tours, the F620 is a nice luxury coupe that has really impressive top speed, but isn't so great in the corners. And that's exactly how it should be. A Grand Tourer is meant for covering a lot of miles really quickly while riding along in luxury. It helps that the F620 makes a great noise and, at least in my opinion, has really great looks. I only wish I could do more to customize it than just change the paint and wheels though. But hey, for a car that can be stolen, it is a great addition that helps make my Ocelot collection complete. Up next is the Maibatsu Penumbra. Speaking of customization options, the Penumbra has them in spades. Of course, I couldn't really help myself and had to go for a full-blown Ricer look. I mean, the car is practically begging for this design. Like a lot of the cars that I own, the Penumbra is not a race car. It is a full 10 seconds a lap slower than the best sports car, and it's nearly last in terms of top speed. But isn't that really true of most Ricers? Huge exhausts, fake carbon fiber trim, and massive spoilers do nothing for a car with an anemic 4-cylinder engine. Maybe one day it'll get a custom treatment at Benny's and up the performance. But even if it doesn't, I'm glad to have the Penumbra in my garage. Number 6 is the Ocelot Jackal. Rockstar once again went with styling cues from Jaguar and Maserati for this Ocelot, and I couldn't be happier about it. It's really difficult to make a 4-door sedan look like anything exciting, but Ocelot has managed to pull it off with the Jackal. And unlike the F620 that we just looked at, the Jackal actually does fairly well on a track. A big part of that is due to the spoiler giving it added traction in the corners, but also solid top speed, coming in less than 5 miles an hour slower than the top coupe in the game. It may not make the same impressive sound as some of the other Ocelots, but with performance like this, you're not going to be around long enough for anybody to hear it anyway. Before we move on to the next 6 vehicles in this update video, I want to remind you that if you play on PC and want to have your own garages featured in a video on my channel, just send a tweet at Brendan72Mo and include the hashtag GarageTour. I'm an absolute gearhead, so I love to look at and talk about cars. If you enjoy cars as much as I do, I'd love to feature your garages. Also, keep an eye out for future videos in this series, including 2 more videos for the 5th update with 24 more cars worth over $32 million, plus a video featuring all of my Pegasus vehicles, as well as further updates as I get new cars. If you want to see all those vehicles, keep those likes coming. Next up is the Vapid Sand King SWB. I'm pretty sure that my love for off-roading is fairly well known. I mean, I kind of sort of have an entire series of videos dedicated to it on my channel. And when it comes time to leave the pavement behind, more often than not, I'll be driving a Sand King. I've owned the Sand King XL quite a while because, well, I could use it to get the rare NPC modified Sand Kings to spawn, and then I can turn around and sell those for 18 grand. But my favorite Sand King is actually the SWB. I've owned several throughout my time in GTA Online, but I'm fairly certain that I've never had them long enough for one to actually appear in a Garage Tour video. For performance both on the road and in the dirt, both Sand Kings are practically identical, but I think that the shorter cab just looks a ton better than the 4-door XL. Now that I have a lot of extra garage space, my favorite truck in the game will be with me for a very, very long time. Our next vehicle is the Vapid Slam Van. A non-custom version of the Slam Van appeared in an earlier video in my Garage Tour series last year, but this is not the same truck with a different paint job. The truck you saw before was eventually upgraded into a Slam Van Custom. Since the Slam Van Custom has so many design options, I really wanted to get a second one for my collection. When I bought this truck, that was the plan. I wanted to upgrade it at Benny's. But then I was playing around in Los Angeles Customs and found this paint job. Now, I just can't bring myself to pay the upgrade fee, knowing that I'll lose the 2-tone paint option. Sure, it'd get better handling and somewhat better brakes as a custom, but I don't think a Slam Van Custom could ever look as good as this one does. Number 9 is the Annis Elegy RH8. Okay, so I featured Elegies before in my Garage Tour videos. Twice actually, because I had one on each character. So why am I showing off another one? Well, because one of those Elegies was recently upgraded into an Elegy Retro Custom, and you'll see that car sometime next week. But when it comes to racing, I love the Elegy RH8, so I had to get another one. And this is it. The Elegy definitely has a higher learning curve than other sports cars to get the most out of it on a track, but as someone who used to race in an actual, real-life Nissan GTR, I'd rather take the time to master this car and still lose than to show up on a track with anything else. Number 10 is the Declasse Moonbeam. Once again, we're looking at a van that I've previously showcased as a custom version. Now, this obviously isn't the same van since you can't down a custom version back to a stock version. No, this Moonbeam was bought recently to fill a void in my ongoing weird obsession with vans. I would like to upgrade this Moonbeam into a custom, but I don't want to lose the ride height or get those stance wheels. It's a shame really, because I'd like to have more visual modification options to choose from. I'd also like to get that bump in performance that comes with the custom upgrade. I don't know, maybe one day I'll pay for this to become a custom, but until then, I'm quite happy to have the Moonbeam in my van garage. Number 11 is the Benefactor Shafter V12. You've seen both the regular Shafter and the armored version of the Shafter V12 on my channel before, but I've never owned the regular Shafter V12. Due to Rockstar's weird way of classifying cars, this one was put into a sports class. And in the sports class, it's not all that competitive. I have the armored version because it's classified as a sedan where it spent months dominating the racing circuits. An update last year changed that though, and even though the non-armored Shafter V12 is still classified as a sports car, it can now be entered into a sedans race. And in those sedan races, it dominates everything else. So even though my Benefactor collection now has 3 different versions of the Shafter, I'm glad to have this V12. And finally, the 12th vehicle in the second part of my 5th Garage Tour update is the Obey 9F. This is yet another of many cars that I own multiple versions of. With all of the extra garage space, I've been buying hardtop versions of cars that I already owned as convertibles. With the 9F, even though the performance is identical, the looks are unique among the two versions. Sure, they're really similar, but the hardtop 9F has that great view of the engine that the drop top just doesn't get. In fact, you can't see the engine at all on the Cabrio. Plus, I think that there's just something about the hardtop version that just gives it a more sporty stance. Both 9Fs are very good around the track, though you're going to want to get some practice laps in to get used to the understeer from the all-wheel drive layout. But even if you never race it, the 9F is a great looking car, and it's a lot of fun to drive. So there you go, a dozen vehicles worth roughly $2.5 million in the second part of my 5th update to my 197 car, $117 million garage tour. I have 2 more garage tour videos coming soon, and this 5th update series will cover a total of 48 new vehicles worth over $38 million. At the end of the 4th video that's coming next week, I'll be including still shots from inside all 19 garages so that you can see everything I own. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and this series. And don't forget to look for new GTA Online Garage Tour videos as I get new cars, as well as a special video that will feature my yachts and Pegasus vehicles. Don't forget that you can have your own garage featured in a video on my channel by simply sending a tweet at Brandon72Mo and including the hashtag Garage Tour. You can also check out all the videos in my Garage Tour playlist. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow me on social media. And come hang out with us on the Vainglorious forums and the Vainglorious Discord server. All those links are in the description down below. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.